like child to the enemy kingdom, and yeah, there's like war going on. But I don't want to give anything away, so I'm just saying the back. Gray basically has a secret that she is keeping, and even Kier does not know the secret. And so, yeah, Locke is the name of like this very powerful kingdom where all magic in this world stemmed from, but the kingdom has like drowned. Like the whole island is like underwater. So yeah, I ended up giving this book 4 stars. I really, really enjoyed it. It is so immersive, so atmospheric. It's like full of magic and history, and I loved the magic system of that pairing with like a knight and a mage. In this world, they're always like paired together, and I absolutely loved the bond between the two characters. It's about like devotion and friendship and longing. It's so well done. It wasn't like a perfect book for me because I did think maybe it was like slightly too long, because the pacing was like a bit uneven, like in the second half of the book. But overall, I was so fully invested, and it ends in a way where there's like potential for a second one. I don't know if there's going to be a sequel, but there's like potential. But it also kind of just wraps up and stands pretty well as like its own book. So that was the first book I read. Then I finally read Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. So this is her latest book, which came out, I don't know, it was last year. It definitely wasn't this, I think it was last year. And I love Sally Rooney. This was the only one of hers I hadn't read. And it is basically a story about 2 brothers named Peter and Ivan. And Peter is like the older brother, like the very handsome, successful lawyer. And he is juggling a relationship with 2 different women. And then we have Ivan, the younger, he's like in his early 20s. Peter is in his like early 30s, I believe, or mid 30s. Ivan is like a very introverted, shy, like reserved chess prodigy, and he finds love with, or he begins a relationship with an older woman named Margaret. So it just explores this story. It's about like love and loss and connection. The 2 brothers are kind of estranged, but their father has passed away, so they kind of are forced to reconnect. But yeah, I gave this book 5 stars. I loved it. It's probably my second favorite Sally Rooney book. So my Sally Rooney ranking is Normal People, Intermezzo, Beautiful World, Where Are You, and Conversations with Friends. is like a very accomplished mage, but kind of like a loner. Like, she's called the Ice Princess. Like, nobody really likes her, and she kind of turns people off her with her like attitude and stuff. But they are basically tasked with transporting some magical artifacts to this small village. And yeah, I loved it. I gave this 5 stars as well. Obviously, you know, 5, like Intermezzo and this book are like on a different level, right? In terms of, I don't want to say literary quality, but like you can't, it's like comparing apples and oranges. This is a 5-star in its own right. I just loved it. It's just the perfect book to like curl up with. It feels like a warm hug. Both of our main characters, it's a sapphic romance as well, but both of them are facing their own struggles with magic and identity and a desire to like find their place. And there's a very strong found family aspect as well with the people in this small village. And yeah, I loved it. It's delightful, and I absolutely love the cover. Like, the cover perfectly captures the vibe of this book. Okay. Then I read Small Rain by Garth Greenwell. Garth Greenwell is the author of Cleanness and, oh gosh, what was the other one? What Belongs to You, which are 2 books that I really loved, especially Cleanness. This is literary fiction. It won the 2025 PEN Faulkner Award for fiction, but it is about a poet who is unnamed throughout the book, but his life is upended by like a sudden medical crisis that he has, and he like goes to the ER, and he is like checked into the ICU, and he stays there for a while. I can't remember, it might be like 10 to 12 days, and he's forced to confront kind of like mortality in his body and life. It is very much philosophical and introspective. He's in the ICU like the whole time, but we get like flashbacks of like other times in his life. And it is also about the healthcare system. It takes place in the UK, I believe. I can't remember now. Does it? I really can't remember. No, actually it takes place in the US. I don't know why brother's family, and they both hate cruises, but they meet, and like sparks fly, and they kind of decide to start like a little fling. And I love the way that this was told. So it starts in the present, then it goes like back in time until it eventually leads back to the present moment. Yeah, I really, really liked this. I thought it was engaging. It's fast paced. I really loved both of these characters. And I actually got kind of emotional. I mean, I did get emotional at like one point in this book because, they're both going through stuff. And yeah, I just thought it was very, very heartfelt. The dialogue is funny, and I honestly can't wait to read more from this author. So yeah, if you're looking for like a fun rom-com with a little like deeper meaning, I would totally check this one out. Okay, we're getting through them. Okay, next I read A Witch's Guide to Magical Inkeeping by Sangu Mandana, who is the author of The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. This was one of my most anticipated reads for 2025. So I had high expectations going into it because I loved her first book. And I gave this book 5 stars. Happy to report that I gave it 5 stars. It's just also pure coziness, kind of like the Julie Leon book. It's whimsical, it's full of warmth, also has a strong found family aspect. I just love found family, like genuinely. But in this book, our main character, Sarah, she was once a very powerful witch, kind of like destined to be one of the most powerful witches, but she loses her magic after a disastrous resurrection spell. So her aunt, who owns this inn, dies way in the beginning, and she resurrects her aunt, but in the process loses most of her magic. So now, many, many years have passed, and she just runs this inn with her aunt. Then she learns of a spell that could potentially get her magic back, so she ends up teaming up with Luke, who is a magical historian. He's kind of broody and moody, and yeah, it's about their relationship. It's about the guests at the inn. I just love it so much. It's very tender and very much about a group of misfits finding each other and finding home in each other, and I love it. If you liked her first book, I guarantee you'll like this one. It has her same writing style, and yeah, I love the cover of this one as well. Okay, then I read on my Kindle The Everlasting by Alex E. Harrow. The Everlasting. This book just came out a few days ago, on the 28th, I believe. And yeah, people have been absolutely loving this book, and I love Alex E. Harrow's pulls a sword from like this magical tree, and she becomes a legend, like in history. And then it is about a historian, like centuries later, across time, who discovers her story, and their fates kind of intertwine. And yeah, it's the kind of book that gets like better and better as you read. And yeah, it's just such an ambitious story. The world building is insane, like actually insane. It is told in second person, which is probably why, like, I just really don't love second person POV. If it wasn't second person, it honestly probably would have been 5 stars for me. But yeah, it's also like kind of intentionally confusing in the beginning. Like, you have no idea what the heck is going on. But once you realize, it's just mind blowing. So yeah, I still highly recommend it. Although I didn't end up absolutely loving it, I still really, really liked it. And would definitely encourage you to pick it up. Okay. Then the next book I read was my classic of the month, and that is The Sundial by Shirley Jackson, which I hauled recently. It is the first Shirley Jackson book that I've read, and it is about like a rich family, and like the aging aunt runs into the ghost of her brother and learns of an impending apocalypse, and then this family becomes like fixated on preparing for imminent doom. I ended up giving this book 2 stars, so I thought it was just okay. It had a strong start, like the first third I actually really, really liked, but then it just got like repetitive and nothing was really happening. So yeah, it just got like really slow and repetitive. But I did like the writing. The characters were really interesting as well. I was just like, what is the point? Like, in the second half, I was just like, okay, I'm bored. So, I would definitely read more of Shirley Jackson, because like I said, I did like her writing. But yeah, that was The Sundial. Okay, next, I finally read my first book by A.B. Poranek as well. This is Where the Dark Stands Still. So I've been very, very eager and keen to read A.B. Poranek because her second novel, A Treachery of Swans, came out earlier this year, I believe, and has been like pretty popular. This is her first book, if I'm not mistaken. And this one is a very, very atmospheric story. It's like steeped in Polish folklore. It's about Liska. She was raised to believe that like magic is bad, like magic is for demons. And she has magic. So she had heard like a legend that if you find a certain kind of flower, you can make a wish. Like one wish gets granted, so she wants to wish her magic away. But instead, she's captured by the demon of the forest. He like guards the forest, and he offers their relationship like slowly develops into friendship, into something more. And yeah, I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. This was the other book that could have been my favorite of the month. It's quite emotional as well, but it's definitely like lighter in tone than Where the Dark Stands Still. But yeah, it feels like a fairy tale adventure with wedding is being planned, like actively, and neither one wants to get married, but there is a very expensive, non-refundable, like, wedding bill, like all this money being spent to plan it, and so they kind of start sabotaging each other, trying to get the other to end the relationship first, but in doing so, they kind of rediscover, like, the spark they had and the love for each other. Sounds really, really good, right? I ended up giving this 2 stars, unfortunately, because I found both of these characters to be so immature, so irritating, and I don't mean like the pranks and the sabotage and stuff. I feel like that's fun, like that's part of the plot, right? It wasn't that. It was just the fact that, like, these 2 characters were so flawed in a way, like, neither of them had any sort of, like, self-reflection, and, like, there's no communication, and both of them are the type of people who should not be in relationships. Like, they both need therapy, and they need to, like, work on themselves and reflect on themselves instead of being in a relationship and, like, putting unfair expectations on their partner and then, like, stewing in disappointment, like, secretly, and not communicating. Like, I just really couldn't get behind their relationship. And it honestly was giving me, like, flashbacks. It was, like, triggering me in a way. I think all of my friends are in, like, relationships, if not married. No, actually, all my friends are married now. Like, 99% of my friends are married. And for whatever reason, I'm not complaining about it, but I am always kind of like the therapist friend. Like the friend that my girlfriends vent to about the relationships and stuff. And the relationship between these 2, it was kind of sometimes it's very mentally taxing to be that friend, I think, because when you, like, really care about your friend ends up in this city, and it's just like a weird book where, I don't know, it goes back and forth from like reality to the surreal. And then one day he wakes up and he's no longer in the city, and he doesn't know how to get back. He doesn't even know how he got there in the first place. But yeah, it's, I don't know what the heck, I don't know what happened in this book at all. I'm not sure if we're meant to know, but every part of this story is kind of open to interpretation. And it was very well written. I like his writing always, but I just have no idea what happened. So, yeah, and not at sometimes it was unsatisfying to me, like the way things happened and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, and then the last book I read in October is A Fate So Cold by Amanda Foody and C.L. Herman. They are the author duo of All of Us Villains, which is one of my favorite duologies. Absolutely love it. So I was highly, highly anticipating this one. This book actually comes out on November 4th, but I won this in a giveaway, and it's actually signed, which is so nice. I think it's signed by, actually I'm not sure if it's signed by Amanda or C.L. Herman. Yeah, I was really anticipating this one. Unfortunately, I gave it 3 stars officially, but kind of unofficially, maybe it's more of a 2 star. Like, I don't know, it just was way too long in my opinion, but it is about this world of magicians, and it's always summer in this world, but sometimes there are like 6 weeks of a very, very harsh winter, and the winters are like deadly, like Game of Thrones winter is coming levels, and there are these magical wands that bond with certain people. So our main character, we have 2 main characters, Dominic and Ellery, and the like most powerful summer wand ends up bonding with Dominic, and then Ellery, she is kind of like the popular, perfect, like top student character. She accidentally creates like the first ever winter wand, and so they are kind of bound as the chosen 2 instead of the, the chosen 1 trope. And yeah, I don't, it's just okay. I liked the writing. I did like the writing. It's very easy to read. The world building and the like magic system, I feel like was interesting, but not that well executed. And it got really, really repetitive. Basically, there was like no forward progression in the plot until like the way end. And yeah, it just